welcome to another Prenatal Yin class. This class is definitely for a beginner or all levels. If you are pregnant, it is okay for any trimester to practice this. Obviously, if you need to make any modifications or to use blocks or props or water bottle, anything, please feel free to do so. So let's get started. So I'd like for you to find a comfortable seated position on your mat, whether that's sitting on a pillow or some blocks or on your bum or on your knees. It's really up to you. And then just placement of hands. So hands can go on top of the knees, face up, face down. I like to just put palm and palm, connect the thumbs, rest them in my lap. We'll just take a few deep breaths here before we enter into our alternate nostril breathing to start the class. So if you can, close the eyes or just take a soft gaze to the floor to steady the eyes, which will then steady the mind. Take an inhale by the nose. Exhale by the nose. Another inhale and exhale. Try to move the breath beyond just the nose and just the lungs. So as you inhale, see if you can even fill the belly and exhale. Inhale and exhale. A few more breaths on your own. You can keep your eyes closed here. If you need a visual, you can just look at the screen, but we'll come into our alternate nostril breathing. Your left hand can be placed on your left knee. You'll be using your right hand as your tool. The index and middle finger can either tuck into the palm of your hand, or you can simply rest them between the eyebrows on your third eye. You'll use your thumb for your right nostril and your ring finger and pinky finger for your left nostril. So index and middle finger either tucked into the palm of the hand or placed between the eyebrows on the third eye. Take an inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Use your thumb, plug the right nostril, and inhale through the left for 1, 2, 3, 4. Close the left, open the right, exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale right for 1, 2, 3, 4. Close the right, open the left, exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale left for 1, 2, 3, 4. Close the left, open the right, exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale right for 1, 2, 3, 4. Close the right, open the left, exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale left for 1, 2, 3, 4. Close the left, open the right, exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale right for 1, 2, 3, 4. Close the right, open the left, exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Last round, inhale left for 1, 2, 3, 4. Close the left, open the right, exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale right for 1, 2, 3, 4. Close the right, open the left, exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Just bring your right hand down, inhale and exhale through the nose. Two more breaths, just like that. Inhale and exhale. Last one, inhale and exhale. We're gonna go ahead and move into toe stretch. So if you are seated on props or on your bum, just go ahead and come onto your knees. Once you're onto your knees, I'll get you to lift your bum up. You can open the knees a little bit and then curl the toes under. You'll be sitting on your heels with the toes curled under, and I like to just always check to make sure those pinky toes get included. Sometimes they like to do their own thing, so we just check and make sure those are there. And again, opening the knees as much as you'd like to. So for some of us, coming just into here is a lot. So you may need to open your knees up a little more and lean onto your hands or maybe some blocks or a pillow, and that might feel like that's enough for you. Others, we may sit here and that might feel good. You may even want to lean back a little bit to get a little more pressure. Everyone will be very different here. Just remember that we do very little stretching in the bottoms of the feet. And as you go through your first, second, and third trimester, the feet, the ankles, they start to swell and get really sore. So you may have more tenderness than you really even think you would. So just take it easy on yourself, go slow, and know that if you are putting your hands on the floor and it's a lot for you, that you just can give yourself a break by leaning more into the hands, lifting the bum up even more, and this will take the pressure off. So see where you're at, but just breathe. We won't be here for very long. There's a lot of meridians in the bottom of the feet. When we stretch them, they connect to our internal organs. So it's just a way of releasing and opening. And it's also just amazing to get that compression in the toes. Breathe here for a few more breaths. And so if you like here, but it seems to be a lot as well, you could always have books or blocks propped next to you, and you could hold that too, just to ease the tension. Remember that if your eyes are wandering, so is your focus. So see if you can find a spot on the floor. Find a steady gaze. Maybe even closing your eyes. And recognize that you may have sensations come into the body. Try not to react to them too quickly. So you'll feel something. Usually we have an itch, we just itch it. But I'll ask that if you feel a sensation, it's not sharp, it's not shooting, maybe it's not comfortable, but it's not too much, just breathe with it. If it becomes too much, then ease yourself off the tension a little bit. But sometimes those initial sensations are just our body kind of easing into it, and then eventually they go away. So you gotta give it a chance. It's really important. That's the muscle fascia releasing, and that's a part of the practice. It's not meant to be sharp, shooting, or painful, but it's not always comfortable either. We'll take 3 deep breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. Good. So if your hands aren't on the floor, go ahead and put them there. Lift your bum up a little bit. And slowly take your feet, release them, the toes off the ground, and just point the toes so that the top of the feet fully get pressed into the floor. We call this an ankle stretch. It's the counter pose. So for some of us, just flattening out the tops of the feet is enough for that ankle stretch. If you're not feeling too much, you can start to lean back on the hands. You could lean back a little bit more. You could even try to lift the legs. So if the knees lift a little bit, that's okay. Just make sure that you're not using your core strength to lift, that it's more of a natural action of you leaning back and lifting the knees. And if that's enough, that's good. It's not for everybody. For most of us, we'll just be here. Just depends. And just take a few deep breaths here as the counter stretch. Your bum should be on your heels. And then again, you can take as much weight into the hands as you need. You can sit up if you've come too far. Just breathe. Three deep breaths here for 3. For 2. Last one. And we'll come into child's pose. So just slowly bring yourself up. Bring your big toes together. Your knees open up nice and wide, and they should always be wide enough that the belly goes right between the legs.
And then you'll just come down. First, you can start on your elbows and your forearms, especially if you're in your third trimester. We don't want to put any pressure on the belly. You can always go down all the way to the forehead. But again, if that's too much, you could make 2 fists. You could prop your head there if you had some blocks. If the belly's grazing the floor, it's okay, but you just don't want to be putting pressure on the belly. So it's up to you how your child's pose looks. Knees can open up as much as you'd like. And just a few deep breaths here. Ideally, there is some sort of pressure happening in the center of the forehead. This will stimulate that parasympathetic nervous system. Stimulating that will get your body into the rest and digest mode, which is what we want. We want you to be in rest and digest as much as you can. The sympathetic nervous system is your fight or flight. And fight or flight is when all your internal organs start to slow down so that your body can be efficient at getting away from danger. So parasympathetic is essential to getting those internal organs working at their maximum capacity, which is ideal. And just getting a little bit of pressure into that forehead helps us do that. Whether it's from the floor or your hand or a block, it doesn't matter as long as it's there in some way. Just take 3 more deep breaths here at your own pace. Next pose we'll come into is called melting heart. So I'll get you just to lift the head and come onto your elbows and forearms to start. You'll start to lift your bum up and bring your knees in. Now you still want space between the legs, so don't bring your legs together. Keep them nice and apart. Hips ideally over top of the knees, the best that you can. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then you'll go ahead and start to bring your forehead down. Now for some of us, the top of the head coming to the floor might be enough. Some of us may be able to start to stretch the arms forward and lean more forward, looking forward, or putting the forehead on the floor. Everybody's going to be quite different here depending on their range of flexibility, and that's okay. The point is melting heart. So your heart is essentially melting towards the floor. Now, why is this so good in pregnancy? This is so good in pregnancy because as all the weight comes forward into the belly, we tend to start leaning forward more. And then those little ones come and we spend so much time picking them up and leaning forward. And so getting the opportunity to just let the chest come forward, the belly to hang, and get a little compression in that back is so healthy for the spine. So yeah, you may come into it and feel good in the beginning and then it gets to be too much. So you can always ease up on yourself. Bringing your head to the ground, the crown of your head, top of the head, so it's not too much. And then you can move as you feel it opening. You want to find a place that you can sustain, and that's really important in yin. The stillness is essential to releasing the muscle fascia. And for most of us, the stillness is the hardest part of the practice, not the actual pose. Just calming the mind enough to let the body be still. If you can, close your eyes or have a soft gaze on one point on the floor. Breathe. Focus on the breath. Try to relax the belly. Maybe feel good stretch in the shoulders. That's really normal here. A few more deep breaths here. Never holding anything too long in prenatal yin. The body doesn't like it. There's so many changes happening in your body. So we just do things for a little bit of time. That's all it needs. So slowly and carefully start to make your way up to your hands and your knees. And we'll just do some cat-cows to release that back. So inhale, head, tailbone lift, belly drops, and then exhale, tuck the chin in, try to round the tailbone towards the floor. Use your breath as the control of your movement. So as you have your own inhale, lift the head and tailbone, and as you exhale, tuck the chin, let the tailbone rotate towards the floor. You may want to move faster or slower, that's fine. You may want to hold it here at the top or hold it on the bottom of the exhale. Whatever feels good, try to have that in mind. Inhale and exhale. One more full round at your own pace. On the inhale, remember the head and tailbone lift. And on the exhale, you tuck the chin in. Take the tailbone towards the floor. Try to round back. Good, come to a neutral spine. And then you'll just allow yourself to come to a seated position. And we'll come into straddle. So taking the legs as wide as you'd like. You want to feel the stretch a little bit on the inside. Depending where you're at, you may want to bend the knees if it's very intense for you, and that's okay. So if you bend your knees, toes and knees go towards the ceiling. You can even put your hands on the floor behind you. You could push into the floor, let the chest lift, maybe squeeze those shoulder blades together, and let the belly just kind of be there in the center. If you have your legs straight, you also could put your hands on the floor behind you and do that same action. If it feels good for you to come forward, that's okay. However, if you're super flexible, we don't want you to lay on your belly. So you may want to have a nice pillow or prop where your chest could be lifted. You may just want to go on your elbows here and round the spine a little bit. But again, if you are leaning forward, I definitely encourage you to just kind of allow yourself to keep that chest lifted, long spine, toes and knees to the sky, and just breathe here. So find the position that suits you best and take a few deep breaths. And know that if you do this class in your first trimester and then you do it again in your second or your third, it'll be totally different each time you do it, even from day to day. So go easy on yourself. Your body is making a human, and that's always really important to keep in mind. And so just let whatever comes, and if ever it feels like it's too much for you, just stop and try tomorrow. Listen to your intuition. It's always right. A few more breaths here. If you get an invitation to lean forward a little bit more, take it, as long as you're not putting pressure on the belly. Or if those knees were bent and maybe you feel like you could straighten them a little bit more here, go ahead. As we come into a new posture, sometimes the muscles get really tight to protect us from overstretching, and then as we breathe and hold, the body kind of goes, okay, I can do this, it's okay, it's not so bad. And so then the muscles relax, and then we suddenly have an opportunity to go deeper. And if that happens, take it. Just a couple more deep breaths. Go ahead and just walk your hands up if they're in front of you. If you're behind you, just start to bring yourself into the center. We'll take half butterfly. So you'll want to bring your right leg in ever so slightly, and then bend the left knee. Bring the left sole of the foot inside towards that right inner thigh. And so in half butterfly, we are going to create a bit of a twist, and this is a safe twist for prenatal. So with your right index and middle finger, if possible, you'll grab your big toe. It's absolutely okay to bend that right knee and grab the right toe leg. So if the leg is straight, you grab the right toe, no problem. Your left hand goes on the left thigh, fingers pointing inward and down. With the bent elbow, you can start to press into that thigh. The left sole of the foot is pressing into the right inner thigh. You push down, You could pull the toes back a little bit, so make sure toes go to the sky. And then you can start to lift, inhale, and then open. So belly stays center. You're starting to open and release that left shoulder. You could bend the right elbow a little bit or not. Again, you can have the right knee bending. Everyone will be different, lots of different ways to modify. Just make sure the essential part that really helps, the left foot pushes into the right inner thigh, the belly stays in the center. Breathe through the nose. Look over that left shoulder, maybe towards the ceiling. And then we'll release that and we'll go to the other side. So left leg out, right leg in. Inside of the right foot pushes right up into that left inner thigh. Left index and middle finger, two peace fingers like hooks, wrap around the left big toe, palm faces inward. Right hand to right thigh, fingers pointing in and down. Again, the left knee could be bending here, no problem. And then just start to lift through that chest and sternum and start to look over the right shoulder. Again, it's up to you where you go. Make sure belly stays center. So we're not trying to twist and open from the belly. We're just trying to open and release the chest, the shoulders. Give yourself this nice opening. You'll be looking towards the ceiling or just beyond the right shoulder, or maybe even closing your eyes. If you can, you pull those toes back, maybe the heel lifts off the floor if you have that extension in the leg. If it's not there, that's okay. Maybe push into that right thigh with the right hand a little bit. Good, and then release your center. And we'll take our final Shavasana. So just lying on your left hand side, as always in prenatal yoga, we want you to lie on your left side. Majority of the oxygen gets cut off if you lay on your back, especially in third trimester, so side lie. And left side because the major vein to the baby's on the right, so we don't want pressure there. But if this isn't comfortable for you, please feel free. You can take a child's pose. It's whatever feels good for you, you do. Take a few deep breaths. If you don't have a little one or a toddler waiting for you, take some time here. Thank you for allowing me to guide you through your prenatal class. As always, if you have questions or concerns, don't hesitate to contact me via Instagram or on YouTube. And I hope to see you again soon. Namaste.